What is the cause of our suffering?
Well, I've actually really tried to think about that, at the level of rupa. Why do we suffer? And I think in our biology, there are some very deep causes of suffering. So I'll say it like this. If you think about it, for life to exist, it has to do three things. Number one, any life, a virus, let alone an elephant or a human being, has to separate itself from the world. There has to be a boundary, a skin boundary, some kind of boundary. In the same with the mind, to make sense of words, we have to separate words. I am saying all these sounds. To make sense of my sounds, in any language, we have to separate them into units. We have to create separations, dualities, number one. Number two, we have to stabilize things in a healthy range so that it's stabilized here, not here, and it's stabilized inside this range. It does not go outside this range. And third, it changes slowly or in a gradual way inside this range. The third thing, we have to get good stuff. We have to get the carrots, and we have to avoid the sticks to survive. Here's the problem. Number one, everything is connected to everything else. Anatta, interdependent arising, dependent origination. Everything is connected to everything else. So any kind of fundamental boundary is very hard to sustain. Second, how do we keep things in this safe place when everything is constantly changing? We're always being disturbed. And then third, as the Buddha pointed out, the carrots we want disappear, or we eat the carrot, but then we need another carrot, or we think it'll be a big carrot, and it's actually just a little one, and it doesn't taste very good, it's covered in dirt, right? Or we have to stay away from the sticks, but the divine messengers, old age, disease, death, they all come, as well as other kinds of things. So, and the way that we evolved alarm systems inside the body and then in the nervous system and now very much in the brain. We evolved alarm systems that start ringing the bells, ding, 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 including the bell of pain. Physical and emotional pain is the alarm bell when these three requirements are challenged, when we are not able to be separated, when we are not able to hold things in equilibrium, and when we are not able to get carrots and avoid sticks. Alarm bells ring. But the problem is, those alarm bells keep ringing all the time because we are not truly separated. Everything changes, and carrots and sticks have many limitations. So that's, for me, has created the inherent dukkha. That's why dukkha is inherent in life. That does not mean that all of life is dukkha, all of experience is dukkha. It means the Buddha never said there is only dukkha. He just said there is a truth that is dukkha, and we need to face that truth. And so there is an inevitable, unavoidable dukkha in life. And I think that's what he meant by the first dart, in his famous analogy of the first dart compared to the second and third dart.
ในสมัยโบราณเนี่ยสมัยที่บรรพบุรุษของเรายังใช้ชีวิตอยู่ในป่านะครับก็มีความสามารถ2ชนิดที่จำเป็นกับการดำรงชีวิตในยุคนั้นมากๆนะฮะก็คือว่าการจดจำเหตุการณ์ในอดีตที่ผ่านมาแล้วก็การคาดการณ์เหตุการณ์ที่จะเกิดขึ้นในอนาคตนะครับเพราะว่าสภาพชีวิตในป่าเนี่ยมันเต็มไปด้วยอันตรายถ้าเกิดว่าเราไม่เป็นผู้ล่าเนี่ยเราก็จะตกเป็นฝ่ายถูกล่าซะเองนะฮะซึ่งในสภาพชีวิตแบบนั้นเนี่ยความสามารถ2แบบนั้นเนี่ยสำคัญมากๆในการที่จะใช้ชีวิตแต่ปรากฏว่ามาถึงทุกวันนี้เนี่ยความสามารถ2ประการนั้นเนี่ยการจดจำอดีตแล้วก็คาดการณ์อนาคตเนี่ยกลับทำให้เราเกิดความทุกข์นั่นก็น่าสนใจเหมือนกันครับว่าทำไมมันถึงเป็นแบบนั้นไปได้
Or does the brain grab the negative better than the positive or something like that?
Oh, for sure. And it's very powerful to appreciate how much the brain and therefore the mind is affected by evolution. In other words, another way of saying this is in the Buddha's time, a common idea then was the idea of nama and rupa. Nama, the world of the mind, experience, consciousness. Rupa being underlying materiality. Okay, this stuff. Okay, the Buddha did not, and the people of his time knew very little about rupa. This was 2,500 years ago. But we have learned a lot in the last 2,500 years about rupa, both in biology and in physics. And now, in the last 20 years, we've learned a lot about rupa in terms of the brain. My question is, since the Buddha studied processes and causes, okay? My question is, what are the causes of the causes? What are the causes in the brain of the causes in the mind that lead to suffering or its end? Which is what the Buddha said he taught, the one thing he taught, suffering and its end, okay? And so, for example, which goes to what you just brought up there, one of the causes in the brain of the causes of suffering in the mind is what scientists call the negativity bias of the brain. Our ancestors had to both get carrots, rewards, and they had to avoid sticks. But here's the difference. If you fail to get a carrot today, you'll have a chance tomorrow. But if you fail to avoid that stick today, no more carrots forever. So we developed a bias, and it shows up in many ways. Just think about a relationship with a friend or a family member. Maybe 10 things happen in a day. Maybe 5 are mildly pleasant, maybe 4 are neutral. 1 is irritating. What's the one you think about at the end of the day? It's the irritating one. Or think about learning. We learn faster from pain than from pleasure. Or think about the ways in which in the memory of the brain, a negative experience is learned immediately. Because if you survive a negative experience in the wild, in evolution, millions of years ago, if you survive the predator or the tree falling or someone attacking you in your group, your monkey band, if you survive, you better remember. The other reason why we suffer, in addition to the first dart, inherent, unavoidable suffering that is our legacy. We cannot avoid it. The second reason we suffer is because we create all these reactions to the first darts, you know, and we get angry and we get sad and we worry too much. And that's another reason why we really, really suffer. So to me, what has been helpful to appreciate here is, number 1, to accept the truth of dukkha, and number 2, to not add second and third and fourth darts as much as I can. First darts are bad enough, you know. Why add third, fourth, and fifth darts too?
In your book, you talk about the dart,
Yeah.
the second dart.
Yeah.
Could you explain more about this?
Oh, sure. Well, it's the Buddha's metaphor. Inevitably, there are things that hurt us in life, okay? And Mother Nature, we evolved, animals are motivated to get those carrots and avoid those sticks by the fear of pain. So, in a way, survival is accomplished by suffering. It's quite poignant, and it touches my heart, and for me, it helps us, it builds compassion to realize how much suffering is built into life. Okay? So there's this inevitable amount of suffering. That's what the Buddha called the first dart. But then we very often add our reactions to it. And I think, frankly, often we react to what is pleasant. It tastes good, so we want more and more and more. Someone is nice to us, tell me more. We make some money, we want more. That's pretty natural, but still, Those are second, third, and fourth and fifth darts. Equanimity is the Buddha's teachings on equanimity, upekkha, in Pali, are to be able to tolerate the feeding tone, the Vedana, the hedonic tone, to tolerate the hedonic tone of pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral without reacting to it. I think of that as a shock absorber, like in a car or a bicycle, a shock absorber. So life gives us pleasant, unpleasant, and neutral, but we do not react to it with second, third, and fourth darts.